What's up, guys? Welcome back to the final round of Swiss here, round 9 at the Dallas Pokemon Regional Championships. I am Michael Slutsky here with Jeremy Jalen. Jeremy, it's been a long day. We've had great matches, and we've got one great one left.
Yeah, probably the greatest one left. We have Peter Kica versus Chris Taporco, and it is going to be one great final round. They are both at the 5-2-1 spot to
Yep.
try to make it into day two with a win.
Win or go home.
And this is all the marbles. This is what you come for. You need to make day two to do well at these regionals, and they are right on the cusp of that.
Yeah. Chris, of course, playing the famous Lost March deck, a deck that I think some people were, in standard, we were wondering if it was competitive, and then we saw Charlie Lockyer go 9-0 in Swiss at Roanoke, and then we were wondering if it was competitive and expanded. We've seen a little bit of it here, and Chris is, he's right on the cusp of proving that it's viable. And then on the flip side, we've got
Yeah, we have Peter Kica, one of the innovators of this unknown damage deck, using the Reuniclus, the Weavile, and Klefki combo with that Magikarp Wailord tag team.
yeah,
And he almost convinced a ton of people to play at this tournament.
yeah.
And then everyone backed out last second.
I know he was trying to buy copies of the Exodia card to use as GX markers. He was that convinced. We did see this archetype earlier. Tim Patton was playing it. Unfortunately, Tim Patton ran up against an Alolan Muck, which is pretty much the only thing you don't want to see as Exodia. Kica obviously has dodged it enough to put himself in a winning position. So how do you think this matchup goes?
Well, and to touch on Tim for a while, he actually is 6-1-1 guaranteed in day two with the deck. So we will be seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just the matter of fact of if we're going to see
Multiple.
more than one.
Yep.
And it's gonna it's gonna be a pretty intense match just because Chris actually could get to one-shot Wailord range.
Mm-hmm.
It is weak to grass, and with jump bluff and then enough and choice bands and stuff, it's pretty easy to do actually.
Yeah. If I'm Peter, I know he's tested against the gamut of expanded decks. I'm sure he'll play it smart. He won't put the Wailord down until the turn. He's going to activate the combo. He'll just feed him, whatever it is. His list is going to be a little different
Than Tim's.
than Tim's. Yeah, I know Tim was playing the random receivers and the Lily and the aggressive Shaman, which was very interesting. Kika's going for a little slower approach. He's got Tropical Beach. He's opting to just value more consistent draw, less streaky and explosive.
Uses a heavy reliance on teammates as well.
Yep. Yeah, he likes to. He figures he doesn't care what he's giving up as long as he can get the pieces together. So looks like we are getting started here.
Yeah, and Chris on the left going first. You actually see Klefki in the active, and you're like, oh, you playing my deck too? No. He is playing Klefki to go along with the Skin Plume line, the Jump Bluff line, just because when you remove everything that's attached to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Klefki, attach it as a Pokemon, turns into a tool, but then it goes back to the Lost Zone, and it's still a Pokemon, so it's just 20 extra damage.
Yep. It's also something he can pitch with Lost Blender if he needs, or just cards he can play and turn and burn whenever. So very smart.
Level Ball, definitely one of the best cards in this deck. Just great utility, get basically everything. And then Communication as well. A card that's coming back to standard in a little bit of time, I think, in this tag team set, right?
Yep.
And probably make a huge boost of consistency for this deck in standard as well. But being able to just, all right, well, I have a jump left in my hand, I can put it back, and then floor path to the sky, get it out.
Yeah, that was always the problem with Lost March, is that you couldn't, if you drew jump bluff, you couldn't, take advantage of Skip Loom. So it's also one of the better search cards I think we've had. It's just very simple, very useful. So I like that it's coming back here. But
it's very fair.
Yeah.
And of course, Marshadow. Let Loose coming down. Each player shuffle their hand, draw 4 cards. One of the best disruption Pokemon we have across many formats.
Yep.
We see it a ton in standard, and it's been creeping its way in expanded, mostly in decks like Rayquaza and Lost March as well.
So we see, I think, another Trumbeak there from Chris. Maybe he can find a supporter this time, and he does not. but he's got a Cynthia he can still play. So another thing that's awesome about Marshadow is that it does provide draw for you. So Chris got to see 4 new cards, and now he gets to play a Cynthia as well. So
Yeah, just being able to burn through your deck, play some cards, and then yeah, top decking the Cynthia off that let loose, and just try to do it all over again next turn.
we see that Great Ball card kind of popularized by Jimmy Pendarvis in Philadelphia, where they ran Great Ball in their Zoroark decks, just as a way to guarantee any Pokemon, which we see here.
Well, you talk about guarantee. That looks like a jump bluff, and I don't know
That's
if I
not
want
a
to take that jump
Pokemon.
bluff.
Yeah. Well, it did guarantee a
Oh, he has a
Pokemon.
communication in hand. That jump bluff is actually pretty nice now.
There you go. See some big brain stuff right there.
Just planning ahead. All right, there it is.
And you know, if I'm Chris, I don't really mind burning all of these search cards. He's just trying to thin the deck, like we talked about. Skiploom, obviously, every time will continue to thin as well. So,
Yeah.
triple hop it.
Not bad start from Chris here. Opting not really to play any cards like Professor Elms. Really going for just the max ball engine, the max communication, and then Lily as its main like turn 1 option. But this hand's looking pretty sweet from Chris.
Yeah. See, does Peter get something? And we see the flip side of Marshadow is that Peter was just Marshadowed into garbage cards before he could, you know, he doesn't really get to play.
Yeah.
So.
Drawing his hand, I think it's a rescue stretcher, teammates rare candy, and a field blower.
No, it's Ninetales.
Ninetales Reuniclus. That's even worse.
Even worse. Of course, if he finds a Vulpix, he can transform the Ditto into eventually the Ninetales, but this is pretty abysmal for Peter. And we see that Klefki.
Yeah, doing sequencing a little bit wrong here because you search your deck for the jump bluff first and then put the stuff in the lost zone. But we know that he has jump bluff in his deck thanks to communication and things like that.
Yep.
Because there is the chance that you prize a bunch of jump bluffs, don't have enough to use your Skin Plume. You actually don't get to put it in the lost zone anymore.
Yep.
And Netball, a card that I love coming out of Lost Thunder, and just being able to search your deck for a basic grass Pokemon or a basic grass energy reminds me a lot of Roseanne's research and the utility that it had. Granted, this is only for grass decks, but I think going on in the future, Netball is going to be something that we're going to see a lot of.
I agree, yeah. It's just a very simple consistency card with a lot of utility. See another Great Ball. There is a Marshadow and a Natu.
And a Skin Plume. Wow. What a hit off that 7th card from Great Ball here. Chris's hand, he even has a backup energy. There's a Lost Splendor as well, but he's off to the races here.
Yeah, he's flying. You know, it's a little ironic. A lot of players know Peter Kica as kind of the Night March champion. He's the one who usually marches. And right now, Chris is, I mean, he's got a pretty commanding board position here, especially because Peter just passed. So we'll see. Does Peter get?
That is a tropical beach, but there is no basic Pokemon, so he's going to have to stretcher for the Sneasel here.
Which is not what you want to see.
Again, he's just surviving. But his deck is one thing that as long as you survive and draw the right sequence of cards, you can win out of nowhere.
Yep. Yeah, he only needs one turn to win. He found
teammates communication, I think another Reuniclus.
So now, if I'm Chris, there's another Pokemon there. There's a Mime. He could pitch that with the Lost Splendor. Great Ball, maybe find something else to get rid of.
3 DCE in the top. Another Skin Plume. These Great Balls are paying off in a big way here.
But so he has one jump bluff in his hand. So if he pries the other jump bluff, the Skip Plume won't do anything. But I'm sure he checked that already.
He could
also
roll the dice in Cynthia, yeah. And to be fair, you don't need much right now in the Lost Zone. You already knock out everything Peter has so far.
Gonna floor path to this guy. Is it in the deck? It is.
It is, yeah. There we go.
So.
And I guess another thing is there's no shame in trying it because next turn you can just you can Cynthia this turn and then next turn do it.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. Triple jump bluff. Super boost energy is live, but I don't
That
know if he
is
plays it.
that is true. Yeah. Peter gets cheeky with any shuckles. Another Guzma. Interesting that he opts to Guzma the Sneasel over the Ditto.
Over just taking the knockout on the active.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
because Ditto can surprise, like, oh, its surprise turns into a Uniclus here if he wants it.
Well, could also with the teammates, he could also grab a Vulpix and then evolve into the Ninetales. And
Ninetales
use
is one thing that could take a hit.
Mysterious Guidance. Chris, of course, is one Pokemon in the Lost Zone away from just knocking out that Ninetales anyway. But, I mean, if I'm Peter, I need to do something.
Would it be, like, maybe worth it if you do go for the Ninetales play Mysterious Guidance for the dumbbells?
That would also be a decent opportunity. I don't know. I think I saw a blower in Chris's deck. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that might be good. Also, maybe just intentionally sacking the Ninetales. Just trying to get as many things as he can.
Yeah. It's this deck as a whole is pretty difficult to sequence.
Yeah.
You might think, well, yeah, it's just a combo deck and the combo's super easy, so once I get it, I just win. Well, you have to get there.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
if you get the wrong card off the teammates, if you get the wrong, I don't know, like,
Basics.
if you put back the wrong Pokemon with Pokemon Communication,
Yeah.
any little thing can happen here, and it really goes to show like how much of like a player Peter is,
Yep.
being able to get to this point in the tournament with it.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to sequencing. Obviously, Night March takes a lot of sequencing. It's kind of all sequencing for the first couple of turns. He played Grand Bull, and that's 100% sequencing. So he's taking double Vulpix here. He just wants to guarantee he can get the Ninetales.
Yeah, it's interesting that he didn't transform the Ditto into that Ninetales. So
I think maybe he figures if Chris uses Guzma, then the Ditto can be whatever was just knocked out. But if he just knocks out the Ditto, then he just has the regular versions of the basics. So
that is true. Yeah.
Kica is starting to get a little more set up now. Much better.
I mean, he could win next turn essentially.
He'd need to get a little bit, but he could definitely pull off some magic.
All right, that this rhyme is not going to help at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe would have just pitched that with Lost Splendor, but oh, okay. Well, I guess he already has two Pokemon. There's another Marshadow.
Marshadow.
That's good. He's gonna want to reset Peter's ability to.
Yeah, Peter's hand is pretty good. It has that Alolan Ninetales in its hand, Reuniclus as well, and I think he communication backed the Weavile, but he might have another one in his hand.
So Chris is thinking about the Marshadow. I think maybe. I don't. Oh, he just opts to knock it out.
All right, so this is it.
Oh, this could be
Peter
it.
could have it here. This deck is just able to take the game out of nowhere.
You can tell he's
piecing it together.
Yep. Okay.
And I think if he has access to maybe...
He's got a VS Seeker for teammates.
Oh, wow.
So he needs, let's see what he needs. He needs Reuniclus, he needs a Klefki, he needs Magma Base, and he'll need at least one Wailord.
Well, there's the Stretcher.
Stretcher, okay.
Stretcher doesn't help too much, right? There's nothing in the discard
Well, he
except
can
for
grab
Ditto.
a Ditto and use that as a floating bench spot, or say a Wailord or a Klefki. Oh, he's moving pretty fast.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Already had the rare candy in hand with the Reuniclus. Mysterious Guidance, Communication, Level Ball.
Oh boy.
Communication, the Reuniclus away, get another Ninetales.
Yep. And then
Ninetales for the computer search, and
he's got the level.
Oh no, he has the teammates.
Yeah, and
so
he has teammates.
Teammates is gonna get the Magma Base.
Oh, are we going to see a successful Exodia here? Oh, he's moving fast.
All right, there's the level ball for the Weavile. So he's missing the Stadium, the Klefki.
Yep.
And then the Wailord, the Unknown, and a Way to Retreat. So he could knock out his own active full picks, or the tails if it's there.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Kica is flying.
Gets the Waylord and the Magma Base, what it looks like.
Does he have? Oh, so
Has
if
the
there's,
Ninetales in hand.
but okay, so he might be a card short because he needs to get both Unknown and Klefki and a way to retreat the. Well, he can just actually. I take it back. He can just knock out his
Yeah,
own
he's going to have to
Ninetales?
knock out the Alolan Ninetales. And with the tag team having 300 HP over Waylord EX's
Yep.
250,
Yep.
you're able to play that Alolan Ninetales to mitigate
Yep.
the damage. So
Okay.
190 on the Alolan Ninetales, 290 from the Waylord. That is 480, and then 160 from the Reuniclus and the Weavile.
Yep.
So that's 640, and then 20 on the Klefki when you bench it down again.
And then on the Unknown.
Well, you don't count Unknown's damage.
Oh, okay.
It's only on the bench.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, and then on the Klefki as well. So he just needs to make sure he sequences this correctly. I assume he's gonna grab like 2 search cards. He's got computer search and level ball. So my guess is he's just gonna use computer search as a search card. Maybe he has everything else he needs, right? Got the magma base.
He just needs the Unknown and the Klefki, so he might have not had enough, like another level ball kind of thing, but he will have the extra cards in his hand to pull it off here.
And Ditto is the floater spot, so Ditto can transform into Klefki or it can transform into Unknown or whatever he wants to do. I'm not sure. He's eyeing a level ball, maybe.
Oh wait, there was a level ball in the deck?
Interesting. So he played computer search to take a level ball instead of just
Searching for the level ball?
searching for the level ball, but Kica
Maybe he realized, oh, all I need is the Pokemon anyway.
maybe, yeah. Kica is wise. He knows.
Oh wait, he beached.
Beached. That's interesting. So Chris obviously has to see that now would be the time to Marshadow.
Is there a possibility that Klefki is prized?
I think I saw a Klefki, but I
What
don't
about
know if I
both
saw an
unknowns?
Unknown.
Oh, Unknown's in his hand.
Is it? Did he draw it off of?
He drew it off of Beach.
That's interesting. So I don't know why he didn't. He could have pulled off the combo last turn.
I don't know. I haven't seen Klefki.
He could have evolved the. Yeah, but he could have searched it with.
Yeah, you could have transformed the Ditto to the Unknown.
Yep.
Klefki, knock out your own active.
Yep. Push the Unknown.
Put up the Unknown, and
Yep.
then bench the Waylord and continue the damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if he prized Klefki, I think he would have just conceded the game because he cannot pull off the combo without it. What does he draw?
The Mime,
Mime. I see a magma base.
Solosis, and a Beach, I think.
That's not good because if he doesn't pull it off this turn, he's gonna lose. Oh,
There is the Guzma the Reuniclus
that's not good.
knockout. Now Peter is not able to knock out his own Ninetales anymore because Chris is at 2 prizes.
Oh no.
Teammates.
Teammates is that?
So
Can he pull it off
What?
without?
I just
Well, no, he can't. I mean, if Chris has another Guzma, man, I wonder.
Teammates.
I'd be very curious to find out why he did not go
it
for it.
seems like Klefki's in the deck. I see one at the bottom.
Yeah. I don't really know.
This is heartbreaking.
Yeah, very interesting.
Meanwhile, Chris is like, I did what I need to do.
Yeah, Chris is just chilling.
I attached my energy, and I'm gonna just basically say Lost March for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, and there is the teammates.
So it looks like he took Candy and the big boy, Magikarp, and Waylord GX.
That's rough too because he just benched the Solosis, right?
Yeah, so he cannot Rare Candy evolve it. He's trying the Mr. Mime. I think maybe to just burn cards. There's two Guzma in Chris's discard, I think.
Yeah, and I think Chris is on the version where it just plays the heavy supporter count
No
and
BS
like no Versus Seeker.
So we'll see a. This is an interesting board because.
So you lose to a Guzma anyway.
Right.
So you're fine playing down the Waylord. He's gonna.
But the problem is that he doesn't have enough. Does he have enough bench space?
Yeah. So he brings up the Waylord. You rare candy. To your Uniclus, and then you Magma Base Klefki, and then you start the whole process, and then you just need the Float Stone to retreat the Waylord to the unknown.
But didn't we figure out that he needs the 2 damage on the Klefki as
But
well?
now that was with him knocking out the Lola Ninetails.
Oh, sure.
So.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, he didn't have it.
That was.
I need to ask him what was in his prizes.
I don't know what, because he was flying.
Yeah.
Through that turn.
He basically did all the math. Okay, I have it. I'm gonna go for it. But then halfway through, he's like, "Oh, I don't have it," and then he just passed.
But then he picked it up, and he was like, "Okay, just kidding. I do have a computer search for the level ball."
That was the weird plays, the computer search for the level ball.
Yeah, but I thought he had the magma base. He had the level balls to grab the.
I mean, anytime you Alolan Ninetales Mysterious Guidance twice in the same turn, you should win that game.
Right, especially when you take computer search as one of the items. So very interesting.
Yeah, he was able to search his deck for 6 cards.
Yeah.
Teammates and the 2 Mysterious Guidance, and could not pull it off here.
I'm sure Chris was probably sitting there that turn like, oh, geez.
Like, this is it. This is how my regionals ends.
Let me escape. You can tell Kica's having a good time regardless.
Yeah, definitely just wanted to show off this unknown deck as well. Try to get a bunch of people to play it. Didn't really believe in it on the wavy.
He wants to prove the heretics wrong.
Yeah.
There were so many non-believers. But Kica saw the light. And now he's going first, which is also really good.
Yeah,
so he'll have
that's huge with a deck like this.
And also, something we haven't really talked about is that Kica's opening first few turns were abysmal.
Oh, yeah.
And he still almost pulled that out. So I'm sure Chris is probably aware of the fact that he maybe stole a game there. But we'll see how Kica's opening starts. We are going to switch the camera over there quickly. Just bear with us for a moment. But it looks like Peter is starting to go through.
It looks like Peter beached, but there we go.
There we go.
Pretty good start from him there.
Yeah, I'll say. There's the dumbbells on the Ditto, so that could...
Doing nothing right now,
right,
but has all the potential in the world.
It could make... The Ninetales could suddenly become a lot beefier and can take a few hits. He puts the Waylord down. That's going to give up 3 prizes if Chris can actually feast on that.
Yeah, and looking at Chris's hand here, it's not too good.
He does have a Rangaroo.
A Rangaroo. He also has communication as well. I think we just might see a Marshadow here.
Yep, I agree.
Especially because you don't want to Lost Splendor 2 jump bluffs away.
Yeah, and even if he draws poorly off of the Marshadow, he has a Rangaroo, and then he has the ability to beach. So
oh yeah, ability to beach, and then also the ability to play basically anything in his deck.
Correct. Yep. So, and obviously the added benefit of disrupting setup decks like Peter Kica's Exodia. So
there we go, Marshadow making another appearance here on stream. Shining Legends has given us some pretty powerful cards.
yeah, what a set.
What a mini set.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't you? You had to buy it in those like boxes, right? Yeah. Yeah, crazy. And Marshadow honestly didn't really see play until just recently when the format changed.
Well, I think with the rotation of a lot of stuff, losing N was probably the biggest thing.
Yep.
And Marshadow's one of the really only ways to actually interact with your opponent.
I think people realized Judge just couldn't cut it. having to play that as your supporter is pretty weak, but being able to play it and then play it Guzma or something is much better. So
There we see Great Ball being not so great here.
there's a mime. If he has a communication, this is a great grab, but if not, it's not as strong.
He does
He
have a
does have a
communication.
communication.
Wow, his hand is hop, hip, communication, the mime, and then a lily for next turn.
So he can put the mime
Oh,
away.
wait, has he even lilied this turn?
He
Or
has
he
not
hasn't
played a
supported
supporter.
this turn. All right, lily for 8 seems pretty good.
Plus, he opts to put the mime down. That's interesting. I would have maybe tried to find another hop hip with that first, because the mime is just a dead card
Yeah,
on the bench, but
maybe he's worried about Towering Splash GX.
could be. Yeah, maybe Kica is secretly running a Archie's Blastoise and 8 water energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly.
It's for different matchups.
Yeah, definitely. It's only a 11, 12 card deck.
Yeah. There is the Pokemon communication, putting Not 2 back, a card that I kind of forgot was in the deck.
Yeah.
There were so many jump bluffs game 1 that I didn't really even think about Not 2.
And he has the double skip loom in his hand. And a Marshadow. So he'll be able to use Kika's Beach, then next turn, play both of those, get the jump bluffs, Marshadow, and then keep going from there. So Chris has another incredibly strong opener.
And maybe even eyeing the Lost Blender as well, but his hand seems too good. I think
I
just
would
Beach for
pitch
the
any of
one
that.
card.
Yeah. Kika needs to take advantage of this turn here. Those are not good cards to find on Trainer's Mail. Oh, but that is a good card.
Yeah, communication, putting back that Ditto from Boundaries Cross.
That'll be a Ninetales. Oh.
Well, he didn't have the Solosis or the Sneasel. So he has the Sneasel in hand now.
Okay.
So you get the Solosis, you play the Sneasel down. You have the Ditto that can transform into anything.
Sure.
So if he takes the knockout on the Vulpix, okay. If he probably like Guzma, the Waylord, take a knockout or something with an insane turn.
Yep.
Then you have a bunch of other stuff. Is really just covering all his bases here.
Yep. Chris will draw.
All right, so double Skim Plume, like Great Ball, Marshadow. Seems like a pretty strong play here from Chris.
He's going to start with a Great Ball. Maybe find like a Trumbeak or a Klefki. Just more Pokemon he can pitch.
Two jump bluff. Doesn't
Alright,
seem that good.
It's 2 jump bluff. He can actually just double skip loom here. And then Marshadow.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward because one card you might want right now is something like a Guzma to try to disrupt some of the setup Pokemon that Peter has.
Yep.
But with the hand the way it is now, he's going to have to Marshadow first and then do it. But if he does that, he's going to have to rely on getting something like Guzma, but also just a grass energy.
Yep. He does have a Rangaroo, so if he can play a couple cards, maybe a Rangaroo's Instruct will get him some of these, but that is also one of the rare downsides with Marshadow is that sometimes you really stress which 4 cards you need to get off of it. So would you consider maybe playing the Lil? Well, no, if he wants the Guzma.
Well, I'm just thinking knocking out the Vulpix doesn't really help your game plan.
Yeah.
Because he can still win off of just his bench alone.
Yep.
But if you knock out, say, the Waylord, it limits a lot of his options. If you knock out the Solosis the same, like it forces him to have the like stretcher into the transform into the guy.
Yeah. Off of 4 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
he actually opted to play Cynthia instead of the Marshadow here.
Interesting play. There's Trumbeak.
Draws the 6 cards, double colorless there.
There's Guzma, but can't do that.
Funny enough, if those were the first 4 cards he would have got on Let Loose, it would be Guzma double colorless. He could take a knockout with a Rangaroo.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. So Schrodinger's Let Loose.
But this was not the hand Chris wanted to see here.
Yeah. It's consistent, but it's not. Oh, interesting. He opts to pitch the Trumbeak with the Lost Blender. I would have maybe considered pitching something else to further lower your hand size down.
And don't forget to draw the card for it either. Ooh, a Lily.
Ugh, ugly. He actually can't even instruct now
Yeah,
because
he will be able to take a knockout, but Peter's hand, he has another Alolan Vulpix. We could see him win this turn.
and I think what's most crucial is that Chris didn't Marshadow him. So
Yeah.
Kica gets to keep his beach. So
So we see a Reuniclus, a Trainer's Mail here.
what does that get?
Level Ball
Okay.
is always good.
Level Ball can get everything but
Level Ball gets the Weavile that you found.
Yep. Now
Does he have access to Alolan Ninetales? That's what I'm wondering. And
I
benching that to me tells me no.
that would be my guess as well.
But he has teammates.
Interesting. Maybe he just wants to set it up for next turn.
Yeah, there's one thing that's a big difference about Peter's version of the deck compared to Tim's. Tim is all in turn 2, turn 3.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Peter is, I'm fine if I have to beacon for a turn so I can guarantee it next turn.
Yep.
I'm fine. Like, I want you to knock out a guy so I can play this teammates and get my setup that way. But
So it looks like he takes a rare candy, and I didn't see what the other card was. Maybe computer search. Not exactly sure. See in a second.
But so I'm just trying to think. So he needed the rare candy and the base. So he gets the computer search. Computer search can get the base next turn. This just playing it this way opens yourself up to another Marshadow.
It does, but at the same time, if he Marshadows, he likely will just kill this Vulpix, and that means that Kica can just get an Alolan Ninetales still. It also forces.
Well, it would force him to rescue Stretcher because isn't there only 2 Vulpix or is there 3?
I don't know. Unfortunately, we
I
don't
actually
have
think
the
it might be
list
3.
with us. But what is he? Oh, he's taking these with Beacon. Okay, he's taking the unknown. Chris finally lays eyes on the forbidden one. Maybe it's like Medusa, where like if you look at unknown, you like it turn to stone. You know. He takes another Vulpix as well, so it is 3. And so this kind of signifies like, hey, if you knock out my Vulpix, I'm still gonna get the combo. And it's basically telling, and it's kind of a weak beacon otherwise. And it's telling Chris like, look, if you want to marsh out of me, that's fine. You know, I don't have much, but he did teammates, so this is an interesting way of getting to Exodia. But
I'm just trying to think because he could have played the Vulpix on the Ditto and then grabbed the Ninetales.
Yep.
And then Ninetales for the rare candy, computer search if he needed to, and then teammates for
for Magma Base and another like an unknown.
And he already has the Clef Key in play.
Right.
Like I feel like he had it.
Me too. Yeah. Don't know. Pico works in mysterious ways sometimes.
Chris finally draws a Grass Energy here. Does he have Guzma in hand? He does, but 5 Pokemon in the Lost Zone is not enough to take a knockout on that Magikarp. So,
but it will knock out this poor little Solosis.
What did he ever do to you, Chris?
Yeah. Unfortunate. Solosis, grass Pokemon have always kind of been the bane of Solosis' existence. Used to be Yen Mega a long time ago. Now Jumpluff has taken over. But so now with the Ditto, he can still get Reuniclus this turn, thanks to Transform.
But now he needs another piece in Rescue Stretcher.
Or just another Solosis, which
he has 2 Reuniclus in his hand right now.
Yeah.
And I think like a beach and something else that doesn't really matter. Oh, there was a Bridget. He could have probably gotten it with the Bridget too, right? Oh no, you can't. It puts it to the bench.
Yeah, you can't put it on the yeah. It's not Pokemon Collector.
Or Fan Club.
Solosis is more familiar with Collector, I think. So we see this teammates.
Yeah, computer search for the teammates here. teammates will get Alolan Ninetales and Stretcher, maybe? Or no, you can get Stretcher with the one. You get the base.
Yep. And then he
Okay.
can grab Stretcher and does he need anything else?
The candy.
He has the candy. He took that a couple turns ago.
You get the level ball. You already have the unknown in hand, and I think this is it.
Maybe a communication?
Well, you have all the big guys, so level ball gets you anything else you would need.
Does oh yeah, when he puts the Klefki down, that'll be enough to. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Here we go. Magma Base. Step 1. Stretcher. Step 2. Solosis. Ditto transforms. Rare Candy. Uniclus.
Yeah, and one of the great interactions that he just did is tear away the bodybuilding dumbbells back to your hand. Okay, I'll put it on my Ninetales so it gets that plus 40 HP, so I don't even need the 20 damage on the Klefki at the end.
So now Peter demonstrates how the combo works. He shows the unknown. He shows, look, I will do this combo. There we go.
All
Exodia.
right. Peter gets it off.
Go.
We believe a turn later than he could have, but going for just like, I'm gonna get it.
Yep. He does it with authority.
That's all he wanted. Look at that smile. That's all he wanted.
The crowd is cheering for him. They want to see him get it. I also believe that Peter made a bet with somebody of $20 that he would be able to Exodia his way into day 2.
Oof.
So there's even more on the line. So it's pretty good. And, you know, honestly, there's still like 17 minutes left.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have enough time for game 3.
Man, I feel like Peter's had both of these games.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened game 1.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I know Peter also does run. I believe he runs at least one copy of Sycamore. So in the event where like he needs to like hard draw off of a Marshadow. So I thought maybe he could get a Sycamore in that first game and keep going, but yeah, it was interesting. And then in the second game, it seemed like he was intentionally like putting on the brakes for a turn. And then Chris not playing the Marshadow that turn was pretty interesting. He let Peter keep his big hand with Beach, if you remember. So that was also kind of interesting. I don't know what he was going for, but
yeah, it's definitely been a pretty close match here. Chris just doing what his deck does. It's very linear, but it's very powerful, especially against like combo decks like this.
Yep.
Where yeah, I'm just gonna do like 200 damage to you every turn,
Yep.
and I'm gonna put you on a 6-turn clock.
Yep.
Or
Definitely.
not even 6 turns sometimes.
So we will see here. Of course, Peter demonstrating obviously why unknown damage had to be banned over any of the other things we've seen today. But here we go. Starts a Marshadow. That's actually a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I believe Chris plays at least, or we know he plays at least 2. I believe he plays 3.
Okay.
So it does limit his options later on in the game a little bit more, but starting it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Especially since your turn 1 energy attachment doesn't really go anywhere.
Right. There's one Marshadow in the deck still. Okay. So they're both. So he does run 3. A lot of times we've even seen Lost Marchers playing 4 Marshadow.
Just because you can Lost Splendor him away later.
Yep.
Just go the full 4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4-4.
Yep. Some of the most simple deck lists are.
There is a second level ball here. Again, Chris just having his normal setup.
Yep.
It's what his deck wants to do, and so far he's been able to do it. It's going to be interesting to see if he has access to Let Loose this turn. Just have Peter start with 6 cards instead of the 8.
Yep.
7, I guess, now.
Yeah, you know, and Level Ball gets every card in Chris's deck except for a Rangaroo, I think, right? And Communication obviously synergizes with that so well, as we discussed. So this is a very powerful
Trumbeak.
opener. Is there a
No
supporter?
supporter.
No. I do remember Noel hit a Cynthia off of his Trumbeak when we streamed him at Roanoke. So we do have evidence of Trumbeak.
Oh, I have personal evidence of Trumbeak just demolishing me. Round 1 in Anaheim, I'm playing Rayquaza, and he goes Trumbeak, turn 1. You're 1N.
Ooh.
Second Trumbeak, one of your 2 Guzmas.
Ooh. You hate to see that.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique card. Really, the only one of its kind so far.
Yeah.
At least in the format right now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting to see. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a great card design, I think.
That hand was actually pretty amazing here from Chris. Getting the energy to retreat for next turn. The Oranguru to draw more cards if he needs. He also has the Cynthia and another Trumbeak. So not having played a supporter this turn, we could see that Cynthia try to just refresh his hand and try to do this all over again.
Trumbeak? No.
Oh, did the card change? No.
No dice.
Oh, wait, he let loose. That's right.
Right. Now he'll play the Cynthia. So it seems like he's taken a couple minutes with his turn already, and that's without even playing a supporter. And we saw that with Night March a lot too. They would Shaman, and then they Compressor and Trainer's Mail and Shaman, and then finally play Sycamore or whatever it was. So similar.
And interesting enough, a deck that you think Shaman would fit right into.
Yeah.
No Shaman here for Chris. Really just a liability. Marshadow pretty much does the same job that you need Shaman for.
Yep, and it prevents there from being any 2 prize giveaways. I could see maybe one Lele, obviously just for the utility of finding a Guzma, but Shaman, no dice with that. So.
All right, this hand is actually looking pretty sweet here from Peter. Has the level ball for that Ditto.
He's got a communication.
Has communication in hand.
Yep. I think there's a Trainer's Mail too.
Yeah, Trainer's Mail, and then I think there's a Solosis that he drew for turn as well.
He can hit a Beach off of this Trainer's Mail.
I think he has Beach in hand.
Does he?
I think it's his last card in hand.
Oh, that would be incredible if that were true. And if he can find a level ball, something off this
Stretcher.
Well,
Beach.
there's a Beach if he doesn't have one.
Yeah. So okay.
There it is.
Guess it wasn't. But there you go. Beach. Oh, it was a level ball in his hand.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, Kica.
Wow.
Styling on Chris.
Calm down, Peter.
Don't.
It's like
me.
something's on the line or something.
Oh, baby. Peter wants that $20. Oh, here we go.
This is basically.
We thought Chris had a good Marshadow hand.
Yeah. Wow.
Kica demonstrates the power of the Forbidden One. The non-believers are about to.
You know how people high five when they Sycamore or Juniper with no cards in hand? Do you high five for Beach?
I think so. If you get a fresh 7 off of Beach. I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since Beach was really played regularly, but
looking at his hand, it's not the best, but there is a teammate.
Yep. Furthermore, if Chris wants to disrupt it with another Marshadow, that's his last Marshadow.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
That means that Kica pretty much has free reign to Beach the rest of the game. So, man, what an amazing first turn from Peter under that let loose.
Yeah, who even needs Bridget?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you could have made up
He didn't even use a supporter last turn.
I don't think you could have made up a better opening turn than that off of a let loose.
Yeah, down 2 cards.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
I'm pretty sure that hand was better than his original opening hand too.
100%. It has to be.
So
Trumbeak misses again.
That's so and now
and a Cynthia.
Chris,
That's not a Guzma. There's no Skim Plume.
Yep.
It's looking like Peter might even have another turn.
Yeah. And that's jeez.
He's close. And I think the best thing about a deck like this, even if it goes like this, Chris, he still needs to take his 6 prizes within the 8 minutes.
Yep.
Peter, he can win on turn 3 of time.
Yep.
And still not take any prizes.
He's not susceptible to the time rules. Yeah, good point.
Computer search from Chris here.
We see a Skip Bloom as well as a Nest Ball.
I
Oh,
think that's a jump bluff.
there is a jump off in his hand. There is an
A
S
hop
too.
hip, yeah. But
Oh,
like no
oh,
skin
no
plume.
skip bloom. Oh. Well, he has the computer search, so he could.
But that's never really what you want to do.
Well, okay. He actually also has a double colorless, so he could take a knockout with the Natu
Oh
and
yeah,
at
that is
least
true.
conserve some resources.
Which, if that's the case, I'm thinking, why even play the computer search?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
But he could be looking for this last Smart Shadow, maybe.
Maybe.
Your opponent did just draw 7 cards, and they're playing a deck that can win out of nowhere.
Yeah. And he still has the double, so he could Marshadow and knock out the Vulpix. But this is not
I don't. Ooh,
as
his
strong
top
as-
card.
There it is. So maybe he is doing that. And it's it's good. He's applying pressure as soon as he's able, but these are a lot weaker pressure turns.
All
Than,
right. All his cards are on the table. Marshadow let loose again. Can Peter draw the hand that he drew last turn?
Yeah, this time I bet he'll draw Rare Candy, Reuniclus, Magma Base,
Ninetales.
Klefki, top deck Sycamore
Oh.
into
Just
whatever
go
it is.
full gambit. Like,
yeah. Peter Kica's out for blood right now.
we could have 2 unknowns in day 2 here. Level ball.
Oh,
I
this
think
is
there's
a terrible
Guzma,
Marshadow.
Reuniclus,
He can get one jump bluff in play with that
and a
level
Bridget.
ball. But this is
Oh, you were looking at Chris's hand?
I was.
I was looking at Peter's.
Oh, okay. But Chris's Marshadow hand is pretty bad. He's got a jump bluff, he's got a double, and I don't remember what the last card is, but it's not useful. So he's got to hope he pulls something off his prizes here. Oh, it's a hop up.
Yeah, that is not useful at all.
So
And
he'll
so
retreat.
there we go.
He'll knock out this poor Vulpix. And we'll see. Does Peter...
Trainer's mail.
Show me the money. Teammates.
He already has a teammates in hand, though. Rare Candy.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Wait,
wait.
does he have teammates?
I thought he did, but I guess not. Oh, it was a Bridget.
Oh, okay.
So it's better.
Yes. All right. Man, if he had a teammates and he rips the Rare Candy off of that,
I like this play, though. Just basically set up.
he can use Beacon here too
Mhm.
now. So he puts down another Vulpix and a Klefki. Yeah, I think that's fine. And Chris, as we talked about, his hand is pretty bad.
Pretty bad. No access to Marshadow anymore. All 3 in play.
If I'm Peter, do you beach here instead of beaconing? Do you just try and see more cards?
I think I like Beacon better.
Okay.
Beacon gets you
I guess it
Ninetales, which
guarantees
gets you
you-
2 cards. It also gets you the Reuniclus that you already have, maybe the Candy in hand or something. Like, you have teammates in hand as well. So
Yeah.
it just depends what he's really prioritizing looking for.
Yeah.
The one card he can't reliably search out without computer search is that Stadium. So I think he's just going with that and choosing the Tropical Beach.
He is using beach. I think maybe he just values more cards.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that Chris is attacking with Natu. Like, it's probably... look at his field. It's triple Marshadow already.
Communication, probably getting that Skim Plume, getting that
Plume,
Jump
yep.
Bluff into play. But again, I
can-
think Peter just wins next turn.
Yeah, because all Chris can do is just attack into the Vulpix.
Yeah, 4 minutes left in this game.
Oh, boy. This is...
It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely. We thought Tim was going to be the one to Exodia successfully on stream, but Peter is actually just a couple turns away. See another double.
Yeah, the camera's shaking with anticipation.
Yes. 4 energy on this Natu, both doubles. Oh, and a Lily. Maybe he got that after prizes, I'm not sure. But that was a pretty terrible Lily as well. Chris can
Well,
knock
so that's the thing is, like, you play so many Pokemon search.
Yeah.
That if you don't draw it the right way, you're gonna get these hands.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly finding his Pokemon now. There isn't a Rangaroo.
No bench space.
Yeah, and he
Peter's not gonna knock out any of your Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, he's just burning cards, obviously, but jeez, this is pretty cool. And we do see the Exodia GX counter.
Yeah.
It's the head of Exodia. So I think there's a Trumbeak. So not that it really matters too much. He already has a teammates in his hand.
Hmm. And now part of me is saying, what if Chris doesn't attack?
That could be certainly something. I think he's played more cards than Peter though,
Hmm.
so he would eventually deck out. But I think Chris is just going to try and win the only way that Lost March can.
I lost marching.
Yeah, I would say so. Probably. He did kill something with a Rangaroo. What is that? Psychic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings me back to one of my favorite plays regarding Psychic. Dustin Zimmerman trying to Psychic. What's that? What's that bad boy Necrozma GX
Yeah.
with its prismatic end?
So he Ninetales immediately for Level Ball and the Reuniclus and the Rare Candy. And he plays the Reuniclus down, and he has teammates. He has Magma Base. He's got the Unknown. He transforms into the Unknown. There's the Magma Base. There's the teammates
for the Waylord.
The whale is coming, and so is
And
Exodia.
Dumbbells, I guess, just so
Sure.
you guarantee it.
Yeah. There's Waylord. Chris.
Like less math you have to do. Yeah.
There it is.
And wow, Peter
Dumbbells.
pulling it out. Probably could have pulled it out all 3 games. But wow, unknown damage.
Chris
Showing
doesn't want to.
Oh, he's just like what?
He knows.
Oh man.
There it is.
Peter Kica
Peter Kica
making it into day 2 with unknown damage.
That is
trying to give it one tournament win before it gets banned here.
That is an absolutely incredible win. The crowd gives him the Exodia Obliterate.
This has been the hypest the crowd has been
all
this
day.
whole day.
Yeah. Peter, you see there, Exodia Obliterate. What a guy. And you know, it's aside from that weird game 1, where he kind of just it seemed like he had it and then he didn't do it.
And like he basically was moving the same pace he did in that game 3.
Yeah.
But then completely stopped.
Yeah. So aside from that, he was pretty much in control the whole game. All the games he knew, he's like, I don't care, I know. And you could tell when he like starts playing his cards fast, he knows like, you know, it's interesting. I was watching a couple other people testing it last night, and they would take like 10 minutes to try and piece together the thing. He knows, he's big brain, he sees it all. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that was insane. I can't wait to talk with Peter. We'll have a winner's interview here with you shortly, just after a quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. I'm Jeremy Jallin here with Kica. Our round 9 winner, 6-2-1, making it into day 2 with unknown damage. Uh, yeah, you've been a proponent of this deck for a while, and how does it feel to finally make that day 2 with it?
Well, it's the first time I'm playing the
Yeah.
deck, and it's probably the only time because it just got banned. So, I mean, it feels pretty good. I played against like 3 decks that like counter me. And those were my losses and ties, and everything else was pretty easy.
Wow, yeah. So let's talk about that game 1. You kind of do your thing where you think for like 30 seconds to a minute,
Yeah.
and then you just go.
Right.
And you were going,
So
and then
I
all
looked
of a
at
sudden,
I looked at my hand and I was counting all the pieces because I have it like memorized to like a certain number, like
Mhm.
where your board state is. So you need like X, Y, and Z pieces. Um, the issue I was having is I thought I couldn't retreat. I'll have to rewatch the video, but I'm not sure I could have won still. Like I know we talked a little bit before we
Mhm.
went on camera, but I'm still not sure I could have won because even if I would have knocked out the active Alolan Ninetales, I would have had to promote the unknown and then do like a combo again. Um, did I have enough bench space to
Mhm.
do that?
Well, you had the Ditto, so you just transformed the Ditto into the unknown.
Ah, you're right. So
Uh,
yes, I did
but
big
it was
goof.
unfortunate. It kind of seemed like you had it, and then all
Yeah,
of a sudden just stopped. We thought you prized both clef keys or something like that, but you
yeah.
checked for the first thing. Didn't end up mattering though. You pulled it out games 2 and 3, and just Chris having all 3 Marshadow down, where you were just not even scared anymore.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I just have to live the first one and get a tropical beach out, and then I don't know if he played any stadium counters like Billboard or his own stadiums, but after like he uses Marshadow, like once I have a beach, I can just always recover. And game, I think it was game 3, he turn 1 let looses me going first, and my hand was playable to
Your
like a
hand was insane.
seven card draw tropical beach, which was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, your hand was like, I'm gonna get every one of my basic Pokemon that I need.
Yeah.
Beach for 7. Good
It
luck.
was literally the most perfect opening without even playing a Bridget.
Yeah. But there you have it. On to day 2, you won the bet with your friend.
I did.
And
I was 0-1, and then we made the bet that I would make day 2. And
yeah,
we did it.
so now there are at least 2 unknown damage
2, yeah.
decks of completely different variety as
the
well
other guy's
too.
variant is much different. He like relies on drawing his stuff with like actual draw cards, like Lily. He like random receivers into Lily,
Mhm.
and then play Shaman EX. Personally, I thought of that variant, but it seems like it relies too much on the sequence in which you draw the cards. My deck, you just like immediately search for the cards you need when they knock you out or when you play like a little Ninetales.
Yeah, and well, that's the power of Ninetales and teammates. You just get everything.
With 2 cards, you just search 4 pieces of the combo, essentially.
Yeah. There you have it. Our round 9 winner. We're gonna see him in day 2, and hopefully he can dodge those Alolan Mucks.
One Mux, yes. I need to dodge those.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So stay tuned. We have day 2 coming up tomorrow. 9 rounds in the books today. So don't go anywhere. We have plenty of action this weekend to come.